So this is Gemma. She's a 5-year-old Arabian that is here with me for training for the next 3 months. This is my second time of working with her. First day she got to know the pasture, and I got to sit out there with her and just hang out with her with no intentions and just kind of see how she moves, how she goes about, get her personality, get to know her personality a little bit. And I've been told that she is very bothered about things. She certainly showed that when she first got here. It was a rush of surprise of new place, new things. So she was uncomfortable that first day, but she settled in the next day. It didn't appear to have any separation anxiety at this time. But what I have found is that she was still in that fearful mode. She is easy to catch at home, but she basically was like with me, who are you and what do you want? And so I wanted to take this opportunity to show you guys there's a few different ways to look at horses that are not easy to catch. So often I've seen in the past where ones that have owned the horse for years and they still can't catch them out in the pasture. They have had to ask me, who's the one that fed them, catch them. I was the only one to catch them because I was the only one that fed them. The terms were always on good terms, pleasant terms. It was always sweet grass on the other side to them. So in this case, she doesn't know who I am or what I'm doing, so there's no trust. So there's a few ways I can go about this. And I want to touch on these points because they're worth mentioning. Even though this is small in the first encounter, it is all about those little things. They do add up. And some would say in this instance, well, that's an easy fix. Why don't you just go get some food and give her some treats? I could, but fear will always override food when things get weird. And it might be good at first to get her trust with food, but I'm also seeing horses grab the food and quickly run away because they still don't trust you. Or on the latter side, where they begin to approach you and you can halter them and can feed them, but then as you start to work with them, you've broken their trust again, and so you're back where you started. So that is not the route I want to go with her. I would rather go a route that is a little less food oriented and more based on awareness and showing her how to give to pressure. Horses have to do 2 different things to pressure in every scenario that we do with them. They have to learn how to move away from pressure, and they also have to learn how to give with pressure. So with her, as she takes off to go and runs away from me, I show her and she picks this up pretty quickly. If I put pressure on her as she moves away, as soon as she gives me 2 eyes and 2 ears and yields her hindquarters to me, I take all the pressure away and even turn around to put 0 pressure on her. And she caught on to that pretty quickly. She tested it a few times, but that's where this other half of that equation goes, and that is building awareness. I start matching steps with her, and she begins to see, oh, you saw that. So as she goes and runs away, she's a bit scared at this route, but I'm still adding pressure, pressure, pressure. And then as I catch up with her in the corner, she sees, oh, you saw that. And so I instantly turn around and take the pressure away. So the ultimate goal here is to build her curiosity and her to see my awareness in her. So basically what I'm doing is I'm setting the ground to build some dialogue. Now let's say the scenario was different, where I was in a smaller space, such as a round pen. I would not be holding my body language as loud as I am here. It would be much more subtle, and it really depends on whether or not it's truly fear-based or if she just simply just does not trust me. Now, if it was truly fear-based, I would do a different approach with her and do more matching of steps, which is more like about an hour for something like that in order to gain a connection and change in focus at a distance. But this scenario took about 10 minutes. A very big field to work in, so I have to be a lot louder than I would if I was in a small space, just to keep at the same threshold but not go above that threshold. Now let me make sure that I make this clear. We're not chasing her around this space. We're making it very black and white by adding pressure and then taking it away, doing that approach and retreat. If you notice right there, it's real subtle, but that's sort of my invite. She's a little reluctant to it, wondering my intention, but she gave me the invite, turning her body to the side a little bit. So we spent that moment to get acquainted, and I did a little bit of approach and retreat. Waiting for another release. She tends to be pretty guarded and hides her releases so far. So we're just being very careful not to go above threshold. Introducing the hindquarter yield there, which she learned pretty quickly as we ran around here. She learned that hindquarter yield was the way to go to get away from that pressure. And as soon as she does it, I take the pressure away. There was a release there. Another hindquarter yield just to get her to disengage again and see if she can give me another release. There was her curiosity of her ears. Another one more exercise of the hindquarter yield, and she's doing it a lot more where we're matching steps. So there's some connection building there as opposed to what we've had before. So even though she's guarded, she is beginning to see that I'm aware and she's connecting with it. Different demeanor there. A lot more curiosity. She starts smelling my head, my face. She's very curious as to who this person is that just moved her feet. Another release there. More smelling of my head and wondering who this person is, getting to know me. Giving her a moment because she looks onward. I like to pay attention to those. When they look, I like to look too and say, oh yeah, I see that. Okay, why don't we look over here now? I give them a couple seconds and acknowledge those concerns. But she let me put that halter on pretty well straight away after that. And after that, she followed me with no issues. Just a bit of confidence when it came to going to certain areas, but we've set the foundation to start as we mean to continue. So when she gets unsure about herself again, I can help with her bracing up and get her to start yielding those hindquarters and face up to me in that same exercise, so she can learn to again build awareness and build trust that I'm aware of her needing to find a release in her braciness, so I'm able to help move and disengage those hindquarters, and she's able to start thinking rather than reacting. All of this little stuff really helps when you start it from the beginning.